world tends to put us into two different categories. The people that create content are considered artists, and the people that deliver that content are considered educators. Now, content is usually information that already exists. It's very rare in this world that we create brand new information and that we have brand new ideas. And then education is built on delivering that content to other people. How do we do this? How do we teach? Well, generally, most people teach by doing exactly what was taught to them. You teach it to them, and then they deliver it in the exact same way that it was taught to them. There's a problem with this. One, they're assuming that it was taught to them correctly in the first place. And two, a lot of educators don't actually practice the delivery of information. They work so hard on the content. Got to get the content right. I've got to memorize every little thing that Columbus did when he discovered America. But they don't ever think about the delivery. And the delivery is what I believe can become an art. So let's go back in time a little bit. For me, I was sitting in class, let's say it's 5th grade, and the normal teacher, she's sick, she's got the flu, so we get a substitute teacher, and it's Coach Fisher from PE, and that's just the way the public school system works, and that's fine, and he's teaching math, and we're sitting in math class, and he's teaching it the exact same way it was taught to him. Head down, reading out of a book, not engaged, not passionate at all. 5th grade, I'm looking around the class. Now, I kind of understand mathematics a little bit, so I kind of get the multiplication tables we're working on, but I'm looking around the class, and I can see that everybody's fairly confused. No one's engaged whatsoever. And while this is happening, I look over to my right at little Billy Barfield, and I'm like, Billy, do you get this at all? And Billy goes, And I speak like an adult, Billy speaks like a child. And so I go, okay, Billy, think of it like this, buddy. And I start re-explaining multiplication. I try to change the delivery of the information that Coach Fisher is just up there blabbering about. And immediately, this is what happens. Mr. Johnston. Yeah, Coach. What are you doing? He's like from New York or Boston in my head. He's from Sacramento, California. I don't know why he sounds like this. So I go, oh, I'm just trying to explain the multiplication thing to Billy Barfield here. Shut up and keep your mouth quiet. I'm like, that's redundant. Those are the same things, but you got it, Coach. I can do that. So I was a bit of a smartass too. So now let's change the situation. Let's change the scenario. Imagine if that exact situation would have happened in the class that he has passion about. Imagine if that would have happened in PE. He's teaching basketball. They're doing a layup drill. He's teaching people how to do layups. I grab the ball between the legs, dunk it, 10-foot rim. I'm in 5th grade. That's impressive. What do you think would have happened? Do you think he would have been like, shut up and keep your mouth shut? No way. He would have been like, Mr. Johnston, front of the class right now. Yeah, Coach, what's up? You're the new starting forward for the John Holst Cougars. Sweet. That's awesome. What if the situation would have happened in an artistic class like music? All of a sudden, the band, they're working on their scales, and the drummers are working on their rudiments, and I grab the sticks, and I walk over to the kit, and I go, boom, scat, scat. Do you think they would have been told to shut? Well, I've been told to shut up, but still, the teacher would have been like, Mr. Johnston, yeah, Mr. LaFranchi, what's up? Front of the class. What can I do for you? I need to speak with your parents. You are the new first chair drum set player. Okay? Like sweet chicken gumbo. That sounds fantastic. Let's do it. So how could Coach Fisher have handled this situation better? He could have said, Mr. Johnston, keep your mouth shut and shut up, but see me after class. Okay, Coach, I guess I'm in trouble. And I could have seen him and he could have said, you know what? I saw you explaining stuff to Billy Barfield. Here's a book. It's about teaching. It's about comparisons. It's about analogies. It'll give you more tools to explain things to people because I think you have a talent. You seem to like explaining things to people. Why can't we treat the delivery of information as a talent? Why can't we treat it as an art form? And I think we can. It's not enough to just say that. I want to show you some examples of how I do this in my own teaching, privately and in classes. And one of the ways I do this is dessert before vegetables. This is very, very important, okay? It is so hard to get anyone to eat 427 Brussels sprouts unless you show them, bam, cheesecake. And they're like, wait, so I just eat these Brussels sprouts, cheesecake, yeah. Then they'll do it. But if you just said, no, just keep eating those green things that taste horrible. Why? Oh, I don't know. There might be some payoff at the end. That's not going to work. So dessert before vegetables, how would that work? In drumming, we have this thing called a practice pad, okay? It's a rubber pad, and you literally just hit it. It makes no noise, it does nothing cool, and no matter how awesome you are on the drums, it literally goes bunk, 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 bunk. But we have to get people to practice on it. So if somebody comes in for their very first drum lesson with me, and they sit down, and I'm like, what's up? We're gonna learn how to play the drums. This is called the practice pad. Bunk, 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 bunk. Jenny Jacobson is checked out. She's like, I did not sign up for this. So dessert before vegetables would be, I know she's in the waiting room. I know that my door is not fully soundproof. So I'm in the room going, then I open the door. Jenny Jacobson's like, oh my God, what was that? And I'm like, oh, and she's like, yeah, what was that? Oh, it's called a double stroke roll. You want to learn how to do it? Yeah, I want to learn how to do it. Well, come on in. Now she's engaged. I showed her the dessert first, and she's willing to eat her vegetables. Let's take that into science class. Everybody probably went through this situation in science class where there was this gas can type thing, and to show you the pressure that's on all of us, the air pressure that's on all of us all the time, the teacher's going to heat this gas can up and at some point do something, and the gas can collapses. The problem is there was like 8 hours of vegetable talk way before that ever happened. So it's just like, yeah, air pressure. No, I get it. It's a very big deal. Yeah, oh, look, you got your little beaker thing going, and you're heating it up, and here we go, water, and the can goes crank, and he's like, what's up? And you're like, I don't care. That was so lame. Now, change the situation. Dessert before vegetables. We all walk into the class, it's 6th grade, and we see a gas can sitting on the table, on the desk, and it's like, oh, Coach Fisher lost it this time. He's burning the joint down. Let's go. Let's see what he's going to do. And we all sit down, and we're staring at the gas can. We're like, oh, what's he going to do? But he prepped for 20 minutes. That gas can's super hot. There's nothing in it. Right on, you got a text. So we're all excited about this. This is going to be amazing. I have no idea what's happening. And Coach Fisher finally gets up after 5 minutes, pours a little water, and the can goes blam! All of us are like, how the heck did you do that? Coach, how did you do that? I got to know. Oh, I'm glad you guys asked. Let's talk about it. Dessert before the vegetables. It's very important. Now, one thing you have to do as a teacher is assume that even if you practice teaching like I do, if you care a lot about delivering information and you work on new ways to do it, it's not going to work for everybody. And that, I think, is a huge flaw in teaching. People assume that if they've worked on their craft and they deliver the information and it's worked the last 10 times they've taught it, they assume that you're going to get it, but maybe you don't. And that's where the teacher needs to kick into the art of delivering information. So you have to crack the code. You have to sit there and just figure out, how can I crack this code? You're not getting it. That's my fault, not yours. So you go through the normal teacher things. You go into your analogies and you go, okay, it's just like this. And then you make your comparisons. And then after that, you think, okay, maybe you're a visual learner. I'm going to write it on the whiteboard. And the kid's still not getting it. And we're in this drum lesson, and I'm going, okay, I've taught this a million times. Why is this kid not getting it? But the biggest thing is, this is not the kid's fault. This is on me. Why is the kid not getting it? Okay, I have to go back in time. How long has the kid been playing drums? 2 years. What was it like when I've been playing drums for 2 years? I was 7 years old. How did my body feel? Okay, I would tell this arm to go down, and randomly, that leg would just kick out. And I was like, what the heck was that? And then I would tell this hand to go down, and it would just shake. And I'm like, you should go down now. You should hit a drum. Please hit a drum. For the love of God, hit it. Okay, that made that happen. That's how I felt 2 years deep. That's how this kid is feeling. I have to go back in time. I have to be sympathetic to what's happening. So I write it on the board. Maybe they're, a visual learner. That doesn't work. It's still on me. You know what? I'm going to play it for you. Just listen. And whenever you feel like you're getting it, jump on in. That didn't work. Still on me. Okay, I got to re-explain this. You know what? Play that note for me. Chick. Perfect. Stop. Deep breath. Play the second note for me. Chick. Great job, Billy Barfield. He's now studying with me. He hasn't aged a day. I'm 27. He's still 6. Play the third note for me. Crack. Awesome, Billy. Play the fourth note. Chick. Great job. Do it again. Chick. Chick. Crack. chick, do it again, chick, crack, chick, keep going, chick, crack, chick, crack, chick. Now we've got a groove and it's working, and I'm like, sweet, crack the code. That is awesome. And he's just juiced. He's so excited, and I've got goosebumps. I'm kind of tearing up. I'm like, oh, there's a gnat in my eye, Billy. Just keep practicing. That passion, that's what you want your educators to have. It's so important. So cracking the code is really important to me. You know, I remember one of the ways I had to learn how to crack the code was time signatures. If you're not a musician, at the beginning of every piece of music are these two little magical numbers. And as a drummer, you're like, I don't know what they mean, and I don't even care. So I would ask, Mr. LaFranchi, 7th grade, what are these two numbers? Well, Mike, here's the classical definition of time signatures. Two numbers are called the time signature. The top number is how many beats there are in the measure, and the bottom number is what type of beat gets the count. Okay, right on. I'm just going to pretend like I understood, but I have no clue. You know what? I'm going to high school in 2 years. Maybe there's a better teacher there. Mr. Warschmidt, two numbers. What is that? Well, that's the time signature, Mike. The top number is how many beats there are in the measure, and the bottom number is what type of beat gets the count. Clearly, you two went to the same school. Okay. I still don't understand it, but I'm like, fine, that's fine. Go to college. This time, the college professor's got to have it down. He's got like a doctorate in music. Top number is how many beats are in the measure. Bottom number is what type of beat gets the count. Holy crap. That can't be the only explanation. So I start dissecting it. I start thinking about this. The top number is how many beats there are in the measure. So the top number is how high I count? Yeah, okay. The bottom number is what type of beat gets the count. What is a beat? A pulse. The top number is what kind of beat gets the pulse. Okay, I can figure this out. I just have to move these puzzle pieces. I know I can do this. I know. So wait, the bottom number is just how fast I have to count. Okay, so you're telling me that a time signature means that the top number is how many or how high I count, and the bottom number is how fast I count. Yeah. Well, can't that be a new explanation of time signatures? So when Billy Barfield's like, Mike, what's the time signature? I'm like, your voice never changes. I can be like, oh, Billy, it's no big deal. The top number is how high to count. What does it say? 7. Cool, count to 7. What does the bottom number say? 8. Well, the bottom number is how fast you're going to count. So you're going to count to 7 at the speed of eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. 1, done. It can't be that hard. You have to care about the explanation. The explanation becomes an art form if you care about it more than anything in the world. And I think that that's one thing that we need to do. We need to start caring more. And because I listen to a lot of talks about education, and people are trying to do such monumental things, which I think is amazing, but I don't think it's totally necessary. To change education, we don't have to tear down schools and build new ones. We don't have to impeach a president. You can just change the way you think about it. And when you see somebody explaining something to someone, you can say, you know what? That's a talent. That's an art form. That kid's really good at explaining things. You know what? Let me teach you a little bit more. That explanation would have worked better if you would have used this comparison. And that's what I want people to do. I'm not asking you to do anything insane. I'm asking you to treat the ability to explain things from one person to another as an art form, as a talent. If you saw a 5th grader dunk a basketball, you would single him or her out, especially her. You'd be like, you're a 5th grader and you dunked? You, Jenny Jacobson, are awesome. You're starting forward. And if you saw an amazing musician sit down at the piano and just completely rip, that would be a talent. Well, why can't explaining things to someone else be a talent? And it can, and it just starts with us. It starts with us having that viewpoint that it can be something different. Be present while learning. Every time someone is teaching you something, think about how you feel in that moment. You're in that moment of being the student. So how does your body feel? What sensations are you experiencing? Anytime you're being taught something, just try to be present and think, okay, that really clicked for me. I want to remember how that person delivered the information so that I can deliver the information later on in life. You also want to be present for when it's not working out and think, why is this not working? I love this topic. The teacher seems like a nice person, and I'm getting no connection here. Is it the passion? Is it the eye contact? Is it the hand gestures? What is happening that is causing that connection between the information and you to be severed? Be present while you're learning. Now, I think a lot of people that know me would think that drumming is my passion because I've played since I was 5 years old. I play every day. I play 8 hours a day. It's my only job is drumming. But to be honest, drumming is not my passion. Drumming is a hobby. I love it very much, but it is a hobby for me. Teaching is my passion. Here's how I know that teaching is my passion. If you told me that I could never play drum set again, ever, for the rest of my life, I'd be depressed for a few weeks. I would eat a ton of Krispy Kreme donuts, but I would get through it somehow, and I would live. If you told me I could never explain things to people ever again, I don't know that there'd really be a reason for me to be on this earth. So, if that rings true to you, you might have a talent. You might be an educator. Thank you very much.